Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Angel Next Door podcast. Since we started exploring the concept of investing with philanthropic capital, interest has surged, along with a lot of questions. So, in this short episode, I'm going to simplify the process and break it down step by step of what it means to invest in a for profit company using philanthropic dollars, the dollars that you would use in order to donate to charity. This innovative approach allows you to generate potential financial returns while driving meaningful social and environmental impact. And I'll explain how you can leverage a donor-advised fund or a DAF to invest in for-profit companies. And I'm going to reintroduce Inspire Access, a 501c3 nonprofit that enables you to donate and allocate funds toward for-profit ventures led by underrepresented founders. So let's dive in. Philanthropic capital refers to funds that are earmarked for charitable purposes, but are also invested in ways that generate financial returns. Unlike traditional donations that go directly to the causes, these investments allow capital to be recycled and continuously support various initiatives. This can be done through structures like donor advised fund or DAFs, which offer tax advantages while aligning investments with the donor's values. Here's a clip from Sally Boulter from Impact Assets explaining what a donor-advised fund is. Sally was recently on the Angel Next Door podcast.
So for those of you who don't know what a donor-advised fund is, I've heard it called a philanthropic checkbook. And it is, people open them when they want to make a tax deduction. Or take a tax deduction. So maybe they've sold a business or something and they want to take a tax deduction in that particular year, but they don't necessarily know where they want to grant their money out to. So they'll open a donor advised fund account, take the tax deduction in that year, and then grant money out over time. There are many donor advised funds out there. There are some focused that are like commercial donor advised funds like your Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard. And then there are several community foundations wherever you're based. I live in Baltimore. There's Baltimore Community Foundation. Every community seems to have a community foundation. And their focus is really on helping those communities. And now Impact Assets niche in the space is around impact investing. When we were started, our founders were looking around at the world of finance and looking at donor advised funds and seeing all this untapped capital that was put aside by people who care about the world, care about people, and they had set it aside to be granted out. But all that money was sitting there. Trillions of dollars are sitting in donor advised funds that have yet to be activated. And so that's our niche, is that while you're waiting to grant money out, all of your investment options are impact investment options.
Sally explained how donor advised funds offer a simple and effective way to invest philanthropic capital while making a lasting impact. Through platforms like Impact Assets, individuals, including non-accredited investors, can set up a DAF, complete a straightforward compliance questionnaire, and direct funds toward for-profit, impact-driven companies. A compelling example is the Next Wave Impact Fund, where investors pooled resources to support for-profit, meaningful ventures. Any returns generated from these investments flow back into the DAF and will then be directed to the charity of choice of the donors. Now that we've talked about Impact Assets, let's talk about Inspire Access. Wow, they sound very similar, and often the two organizations. So here is Patrice and Leah Brickman of Inspire Access, who were also on the podcast a while back.
With that, Inspire Access was born, and it was really built to address two critical issues. Obviously, first, and most importantly, that less than 3% of investment capital goes to women and people of color. While we know they are building companies at equal, if not higher rates than their counterparts. And the other issue that $234 billion is sitting in donor advised funds. And we really kind of saw this as an opportunity to mobilize that capital that is sitting there and direct it towards mission-aligned investments in for-profits led by underrepresented founders who have historically lacked access to this investment capital. And so that is what we built with the 501c3 Inspire Access. And we know that not only will this help bridge and narrow the investment gap, but it also is unlocking immense potential and new ideas, solutions, successful companies that us as a global community can really benefit from.
Amazing. So somebody can take money and put it into a donor advised fund. Or in this case, they could give it to you because you are a 501c3. And then instead of that money going directly to a charity, it can kind of be diverted for a little while on its own little path to make some more money that will eventually go to the charity. But in the meantime, it's going to go to a for-profit company and help them to be able to build up their business so that then they can turn around and give that back to the donor advised fund, or in this case, you, so that then it can be given back to a 501c3. So the person who's the donor gets the tax write-off. They will never see the money themselves again, but they can put their money to work in order to do good in the world.
Yes,
I
exactly.
love how Marcia just said that. I wrote that down because that's just another way that to let people understand, like, your money is just going to actually go out and do some good in the world.
And there at the end, you heard me summarize basically what Inspire Access is doing. And there you have it, a quick summary on investing with philanthropic capital. This method not only furthers your philanthropic goals, but also can leverage financial returns to amplify impact. Whether you're looking to support underrepresented founders or invest in sustainable initiatives, using a donor advised fund or donating directly to Inspire Access, which then invests into a for-profit company, this can be a transformative way to put your philanthropic dollars to work. Thank you for tuning into the Angel Next Door podcast, and make sure to check out the show notes for more information about Inspire Access and impact assets. Stay tuned for our next episode. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. To connect with me, visit my website at marciadawood.com. And please subscribe, follow, and leave a review. It helps the podcast get seen by more people. And remember, you can also find the Angel Next Door podcast on YouTube too. And if you're looking to learn more about investing in the changes you want to see in the world, sign up for Ann and Bill Payne's ACA Angel University classes. Go to the angelcapitalassociation.org, all one word, to find out the schedule. And classes are now available on demand. Many classes are offered, everything from angel investing basics, which include fundamentals, risk, due diligence, term sheets, valuations, returns and portfolio strategy, and even a class on group formation. There's even a deeper dive where you can get advanced classes, including capitalization tables, startup boards, and exit strategies. If you're not already a member of the Angel Capital Association, you can become one for a low price that will give you unparalleled access to discounts, free webinars with a huge archive of content, networking opportunities, and much more. We'd love to have you join us. All content for this website is informational and not intended to serve as legal, tax, accounting, or investing advice. Well, Marcia, that's me, does serve on the SEC Small Business Capital Formation Advisory Committee. My views are my own and not the views of the SEC or my fellow colleagues on the committee. Our speakers and hosts are thoughtfully selected for their educational value, but their opinions are their own and do not necessarily represent the views of the host, me, or the Angel Capital Association, and neither specifically endorse the use of presenters' products or services. Listeners of the podcast should consult their own tax, investing, legal, or accounting advisors before making important financial decisions. All warranties, including accuracy, completeness, and suitability for specific purpose, are disclaimed.